since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, the race to finding a vaccine has begun in America, Asia, and Europe. Science has gotten so close, and then all of a sudden, all hope vanished right in front of the eyes of a sick and desperate world. Well, is this the lucky round? Will Pfizer and BioNTech hold the key to resumption of normalcy in a world that now has a new normal? A vaccine that will restore health and help resuscitate the global economy that is in dire need of a revival. Hello there and welcome to Metropole Debrief. My name is Ndero Oganga. The first effective coronavirus vaccine can prevent more than 90% of people from getting the virus, a preliminary analysis shows. The developers, Pfizer and BioNTech, described it as a great day for science and humanity. According to the BBC, their vaccine has been tested on 43,500 people in 6 countries and no safety concerns have been raised. The companies plan to apply for emergency approval to use the vaccine by the end of the month. A vaccine alongside better treatment is seen as the best way of getting out of the restrictions that have been imposed on all of our lives. There are around a dozen in the final stages of testing known as phase 3 trial, but this is the first vaccine to show any results. It uses a completely experimental approach that involves injecting parts of the virus's genetic code in order to train the immune system. Previous trials have shown the vaccine trains the body to make both antibodies and another part of the immune system called T cells to fight the coronavirus. 2 doses, 3 weeks apart, are needed. The trials in US, Germany, Brazil, Argentina, South Africa, and Turkey show 90% protection is achieved 7 days after the second dose is administered. Pfizer believes it will be able to supply 50 million doses by the end of this year and around 1.3 billion by the end of 2021. However, there are logistical challenges as the vaccine has to be kept in ultra-cold storage at below -80 degrees. Well, those are some of the basics that you need to know about the Pfizer and BioNTech vaccine. However, what's the process? So it begins at the exploratory stage. This stage involves basic laboratory research and often lasts about 2 to 4 years. Federally funded academic and governmental scientists identify natural or synthetic antigens that might help prevent or treat a disease. Now, these antigens could include virus-like particles, weakened viruses, or bacteria, weakened bacterial toxins, or other substances derived from pathogens. So that is the exploratory stage, which is stage 1. We go to stage 2, which is the preclinical trial stage. Now, preclinical studies use tissue culture or cell culture systems and animal testing to assess the safety of the candidate vaccine and its immunogenicity or ability to provoke an immune response. Now, here, animal subjects may be induced, such as mice and monkeys. These studies give researchers an idea of the cellular response they might expect in human beings. They may also suggest a safe starting dose for the next phase of research, as well as a safe method of administering the vaccine. Now, how long does this stage last? Well, the preclinical trial stages often last between 1 to 2 years and usually involves researchers in private industry. Now, we've gone through exploratory and we've gone through preclinical stage. What's the third stage? This is phase 1 vaccine trial. Now, the next steps include clinical studies with human subjects. Remember at the beginning, we were using animal subjects such as mice and monkeys. Now, this first attempt to assess the candidate vaccine in humans involves a small group of adults, usually between 20 to 80 subjects or people. Now, the goal of this phase 1 testing are to assess the safety of the candidate vaccine and to determine the type and extent of the immune response that the vaccine will provoke in your body. So once it's put in your body, is it safe? Will you have side effects? How severe are the side effects? And this is where, if it doesn't work, it's stopped and they go back to the drawing board. After phase 1, we go to phase 2 of vaccine trial, which is the 4th stage. Now here, a large group of several hundreds individuals participate in phase 2 testing. Now, some of the individuals may belong to groups at risk of acquiring the disease. These trials are randomized and well controlled and include a placebo group. Now, the group of phase 2 testing are to study the candidate's vaccine safety, immunogenicity, proposed doses, schedule of immunization, and methods of delivery. So this sort of puts into perspective a lot of things and a lot of questions about the vaccine. How will you administer it? To what dosage? Will you be injecting it? Will it be swallowed? And things like that. And also know that it's random, but people from different demographics, so we can be able to get tangible data to back the final results that we will get or we are looking for. Now we go to phase 3 of vaccine trial, and successful phase 2 candidates vaccine now move on to larger trials involving thousands and tens of thousands of people. Remember, we started at 20 to 80 people, then we moved to a group of about 1,000, 2,000 that is randomized. Now we are at thousands, tens of thousands of people. Now, these phase 3 tests are also randomized and double blind and involve the experimental vaccine being tested against the placebo, which may be in a saline solution. Now, a vaccine for another disease or some other substance. Now, one phase 3 goal is to assess the vaccine safety in large groups of people. Remember, now you have about 10,000 people and you want to know, as random as it is, can it be safe in this group of people? Remember, we started at 20, then you go to hundreds, then now you're thousands. Now, certain rare side effects might not surface in smaller groups of subjects tested in earlier phases, approvals and licensure. However, it can. These symptoms can show in larger groups of people. The side effects can show because different people have different immune systems. They have different genetic compositions. They have different allergies. Now, after a success in this phase, we go to the next phase, which is approval and licensure. Now, the trial of the vaccine developer will submit a biological license application to the FDA. After licensure, the FDA will continue to monitor the production of the vaccine, including inspecting facilities and reviewing the manufacturer's tests of lots of vaccines for potency, safety, and purity. This is the process that it takes to put a vaccine together. If you do the math with me, it takes about 10 years. Now remember, Pfizer and BioNTech have only been doing this for 10 months. So has a 10-year process been condensed into 10 months? But remember, COVID-19 is the second phase of the SARS virus. We had it previously in China. So maybe the scientists are backing whatever data they have with the data that they had collected back then. A process of 10 years in 10 months. After the break, we discuss what's the probability of this vaccine becoming safe and successful. And not just the Pfizer and BioNTech. Oxford is also running trials in Kilifi and South Africa. What's the probability of success in under 2 years of a disease? Distribution, its role in the global health and economic recovery. Because as things are, they are dire. France, back to a lockdown. Britain, back to a lockdown. Germany, back to a lockdown. Kenya, resurgence of COVID-19 cases. This wouldn't have been a better time to have this conversation. After the break, Dr. Amwanzala put some of these things into context.